Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Primetime Local News. Abby St. John, Jasmine King here today to bring news, sports, and weather. Plus, our question of the day, seeing as it is August 1st, there's only 1 month left of summer. So what is your favorite summer memory so far?
I said this in the first hour. Mine was still like hanging out with my cousins. Like, you just have so much fun because you're just with them and it doesn't matter what you're doing, but you somehow just make it like really exciting.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, summertime is always the best for those kind of activities and those kind of things. But we will get to more of your answers later on. But first, we're going to Josh Ryan, who is live on location.
Thanks very much, guys. We're just breaking up into pairs and triples now for the next couple of minutes here. Both coaches are playing with their athletes, and they're going to sort of mentor them through the process, working on strategy. Ahead of the next 2 weekends, they have 18U and 16U provincials this weekend and then next weekend, both in Regina. So tactics are the main thing they are working on. We'll get to talk to a few of those athletes over the next hour, but first, we're going to head back into studio. We've got news, weather, and more coming up on Primetime.
Crawling through dirt and rappelling off towers isn't a typical summer day activity, but for Bold Eagle members in Wainwright, there's nothing they'd rather be doing. Our Molly Stogren has more.
Bold Eagle is a program through the Canadian Armed Forces for Indigenous youth who want to learn about their heritage while training for the military.
It's all learning a basic military qualification is why the candidates are here, but we kind of blend that with cultural component. Throughout the rest of the program, we'll offer the candidates opportunities to smudge, speak to an elder whenever they want, and then we'll have an elders hour once a week. We'll bring in guest speakers from different parts of the community, and they'll be able to give their perspective on things like not only the forces, but like the RCMP and that sort of thing.
For some members, cultural education is valuable, and sharing knowledge is priceless.
I specifically chose this program over regular basic training because I wanted to go through all the Indigenous programs so I can say I've been through all that. So just this being Indigenous brought me here.
When Indigenous youth enter the Bold Eagle program, they are employed by the Canadian Armed Forces. And if they choose to, they can continue with full-time employment after completing the 6-week-long course.
The opportunity to join just basic training, but with this program there's the cultural aspect, which would bring a lot of younger people forward to commit to joining the forces.
Cultural ties and military training are important, but there are other skills that members can learn that will last them a lifetime.
The bond I build with all my platoon members here, I'll take that from here, cherish it forever.
Bold Eagle members will have a vibrant graduation ceremony later this month, where they can celebrate their achievements as a team. For more information, visit canada.ca and search for Bold Eagle. Molly Stogren, Primetime Local News.
As local vendors stack up at the farmers market today, it seemed one thing is on their mind: the large storms recently that had affected their crops. Our Tegan Gieselbrecht finds out more from the market.
People gathered at today's outdoor farmers market to purchase some homegrown goods that have been harder to grow, no thanks to violent storms as of late. Lorna Rollheiser and her family pickling business is in that category.
Cucumbers are one of my main pickling things, right? This time of the year, if we get a hailstorm or something, it's going to bash up those cucumbers and we're not going to get the crops in. So that means that I can't do the pickles and the relishes that I do for the market.
Lorna's business is heavily dependent on the production of local Hutterites, a group that are among the hardest hit by the weather.
Anytime that the weather is off, it does affect it if you're a grower. They had a bit of hail, so it bashed up their pea pods and stuff like that, so that's something that will be affected.
The Ribstone Hutterites experienced 18% crop damage from recent storms. Despite the losses, their customers are surprised with what they put on display.
They're surprised that we had pays last week, and a lot of surprise about our cabbage, that we've got cabbage already, and we're used to it, and radishes. I guess we plant earlier, so that's how we get ahead.
Not only is having plenty of good quality product to sell important, but it's also critical to have good weather for the farmers market to be successful.
It's something that we all are affected by the weather here. Our market is affected by the weather. We get a lot of winds, we get a lot of rains. Sometimes it's so bad we have to shut the market down.
When it's sales day, like Thursday or Saturday, and we're standing here, and the weather's pouring rain, and the wind's coming at 80 kilometers an hour or 70, and it's pretty hard for customers to come out.
The farmers market is open until the end of September. Tegan Gieselbrecht, Primetime Local News.
Lloydminster residents will have an opportunity to take a stroll back through time during Monday's Heritage Day festivities. For the organizers, it's not only their biggest event, but also meaningful recognition of the trail paved by those who built the border city. Josh Ryan has more.
Kind of a name they gave it to it when they were manufacturing it.
Dick Airy needs little incentive to get excited for a cultural event, but Heritage Day is particularly special.
It's really, really nice to take our old equipment out and fire it up and put it on display for people that come by to see, and put it in the parade so they can appreciate what the very earlier farmers worked with.
He values how pioneers managed to settle in the area and laid the foundation for what became Lloydminster.
The equipment they had was at that time very primitive. The main reason being that they were working their way away from horses into mechanization. Just made do, you know, like if you didn't have repairs or was long ways to go to town to get repairs, you just tied it up with the hay wire and went on.
The rides, music, and other attractions are all engaging, but the true point of Heritage Day is to honor the sacrifices and trailblazing of the past.
They'd had no farming experience. They had no idea how to build a farm, how to build a house, but they made do. They did what they could, and through their hard work and perseverance, they created what Lloydminster is today, and we're honoring that legacy and sharing that with generations.
And he hopes that these stories can help guide the next generation towards a brighter future.
That's how they made a living, and they were happy doing it at that time.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local News.
Now we go to our Josh Ryan, who is live on location.
Thanks very much. As you can see, the sun came out even for a brief moment here at Bud Miller Park. I'm now joined by Kira Wheaton, a 15U volleyball player, and in her second year with the Rustlers Junior Beach program. So you got kind of the brand new introduction to the sport last year. What has it been like coming back for a year and adjusting after being an indoor before?
I find it way easier to play with Matt, especially coaching me. He's a really good coach, and my skill has improved a lot with lots of things he's taught me, like hitting and digging.
What's been the biggest challenge adjusting to beach?
Definitely the weather, the sun and the water. The sand gets really hot during like 32-degree weather, so it's a big change than indoor.
You guys definitely experienced more of that in Saskatoon last weekend, I'm sure, than you did here in Lloydminster. You guys are now heading into provincials 2 weeks from now with your partner Val. What are you working on the first couple of weeks here before that provincial tournament?
Especially just preparing for the hits and the digs. Serving's a big part of that too. You got to make your serves over the net, and that's a big part of it.
And lastly, really quickly here, what are you hoping to take from your indoor game back into the fall when you go to Holy Rosary?
I'm hoping to take in morely my diving skills here than on the indoor.
That'll definitely be a good skill to have come the high school game. We'll have more from Bud Miller Park over the next hour, but first, a look at your local weather.
Thanks, Josh. Well, taking a look at our current temperatures right now here in the border city, we're sitting at 23 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, and there may be a chance we could see some rain tonight, but that's only a small chance. Taking a look at our records, 32 was the high back in 1998, and 6 was the low back in 2002. We are nowhere near either of those temperatures right now, but you know, we wish we were at 32. Here, watches and warnings. Past North Battleford, there is a severe thunderstorm watch which could make its way over to North Battleford, but not for right now. You are in the clear if you are in that area. Same with if you're outside of Edmonton. There's a severe warning and watch for a thunderstorm, but it hasn't made its way to Edmonton just yet, and it will. You'll just have to keep checking that and making sure you're watching that. Down in Provost and Macklin, there is a heat warning, so if you're in that area, area. Be cautious that it is going to be pretty warm over there. Taking a look at current temperatures, 26 in North Battleford and Meadow Lake, 24 in Prince Albert, 30 over in Saskatoon, 21 in Melfort. On the Alberta side, 23 in Edmonton, Athabasca, Red Deer, 21 in Rocky Mountain House, 22 in Rocky Mountain House, 21 in Edson, 19 in Whitecourt, and 24 in Jasper and Cold Lake. Taking a look at more in-depth regional temperatures, North Battleford will be sitting at 15 overnight with mostly with a mix of clear and cloudy skies. High of 31 tomorrow with sun, and in Cold Lake, mostly cloudy skies tonight with a high of 16, and mix of sun and clouds tomorrow at a high of 29. Here in Lloydminster, we'll have 15 is the high for overnight, and 29 will be your temperature for tomorrow with nice bright sunny sky. There's a 40% chance of some showers on Saturday with a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 21, and on Sunday a high of 22 with a mix of sun and clouds. We will have more weather and more news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Hemp has become a more popular crop on Canada's prairies, and Eric Bay takes a look at the reasons why more farmers are planting hemp in this week's Ag Report.
Every part of the hemp plant can be used, which helps farmers maximize the value of their crops, contributing to hemp's rise in popularity. Inotech Alberta is looking into the different possible uses of hemp for grain, allowing farmers to get even more out of their crops.
We're raising awareness of hemp as a multi-purpose crop. So hemp, there's no other crop on the prairies that would be every single bit of this plant can be used, can be sold for money from the farmer's perspective, and we are talking about hemp grown for grain.
The Vegreville area has already become a hotbed for hemp growers, which is also bringing foreign business into the area, interested in the possibilities hemp brings for medical purposes.
We call it a hub region. We have very many growers who are already growing hemp. At the same time, we have big acres and lots of progressive farmers who are interested in contracting hemp for CBD and other cannabinoids extraction. So we have all ingredients for success.
Former federal Minister of Agriculture Charles Mair says branching out and diversifying crops is important to help further agriculture in Canada.
There's no question, we are and we will continue. The technology that gives us the opportunity to do that is incredible, and it will continue. And an example of this is what's going on in this facility here, all the trials that are here.
Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Centre. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Centre with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
Now we'll take a look at your ag prices.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
Like it does with most outdoor sports, weather can have a great effect, and chuck wagon racing is no different. This season, the CPCA has been with what feels like cursed weekend after weekend with bad weather. And as Josh Park reports, Mother Nature has took its toll on the ability to even race.
That was the sound that people within the Poundmaker First Nation area heard Saturday night as chuck wagon races were being set to run. That's right, an emergency alert warning people of a possible tornado within the area. And although it eventually just turned into heavy rainfall, it was enough to cancel the evening's races, something those involved with the CPCA are getting far too comfortable with.
We lost the whole show and we lost a day in Wainwright. And then Little Pine we were able to move a day, and then here we'll lose 2 days. So, yeah, it's 6 days we've lost 30 this year. So it's, I don't ever remember losing more than 5, but yeah, it's been 6 days. So it's not a good year for it, that's for sure.
In the case of a cancellation, when possible, the CPCA does their best to schedule a makeup day that same weekend, usually on the Monday. But that itself can come with more difficulties.
Lots goes into that as well because we have to have judges for it. And so everybody has a life outside of chuck wagon racing. So if the judges, our first call are the judges to make sure that they can be available to race on the Monday, and then we go to the drivers and outriders after that.
At the end of the day, safety is the main priority on all tour stops for the CPCA. For the horses, drivers, and those watching. If needed and when needed, calling off a race is an easy choice in the name of safety. Josh Park, Primetime Local Sports.
Now we go to our Josh Ryan, who is live on location at Bud Miller Park.
Thank you very much. I'm now joined by Addie Greenway, an 11-year-old trying out beach volleyball for the first time, out from Lashburn. This is pretty crazy for you because it feels like it must be up to your knees in the water right now.
It is. It's really deep.
Now, you're pretty new to this sport. What has been the best part about it so far?
Just all the nice people that are helping me learn it and that are just helping me through it and helping me with all the things that I need help on.
You're telling me you haven't met more nice people before in sports?
Some people can get a little rough and mean.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Did you get to play, are you looking forward to playing in tournaments down the road, or for now do you like just kind of learning the technique and stuff?
Just learning and just being able to play the game is really nice.
And now this fall, you've been playing triple ball at your school, you were telling me. Do you get to advance past triple ball soon?
Volleyball starts in grade 7, so yeah.
Okay. And what position do you hope to play?
I want to be a setter.
Okay. How come you want to be a setter?
Because I'm not tall and the nets are really high.
You don't think you can grow a big 40-inch vertical and just jump over everybody?
No.
Well, fair enough. Well, your future's still there. You also play hockey and lacrosse, and you were telling me off camera you like to play defense. Why do you like to play defense?
I like defense because I get to get back, and just being able to see the whole sport going on at one time is nice.
And is there anything about playing volleyball that you can take to playing hockey and lacrosse?
Not really.
Well, I'm glad still you're enjoying it at least. When's your last day? What's your last day for this? What are you most looking forward to for your last day of playing this?
Just getting to play.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for doing for this, Addie. You may as well get back out there and play, and we'll head back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Josh. Well, taking a look at watches and warnings one last time, there is a thunderstorm warning out by North Battleford. It hasn't hit North Battleford yet, but it is in that area, so keep caution because it may move over, but it also may not. The same goes for the Alberta side, right outside of Edmonton. There's severe watches and warnings for thunderstorms, so keep an eye out for that if you're heading over into that region. Down in Provost and Macklin, there is a heat warning, so if you're in that area, be cautious because it is a little hot over there. Now, taking a look at your satellite radar, lots of activity happening in the North Battleford and Maidstone and Macklin areas, so be cautious just about that because that could turn into something later on, maybe. Now taking a look at current temperatures, 23 here in Lloydminster, 24 in Meadow Lake, Maidstone, and Isle Cross in Pearceland, 23 in St. Walburg, 26 in North Battleford and in Green Lake, 27 down in Macklin, and 24 in Isle Cross. And on the Alberta side, 23s across in Vermilion, Marwayne, Lac La Biche, and Vegreville and Edmonton, 24 in Bonnyville, Cold Lake, Wainwright, 25 in St. Paul and Provost. So we're all pretty warm in those areas. And now for tomorrow, we're all across the board. Both provinces are warm. 30 in Wainwright, 32 in Provost, 29 in Marwayne, Cold Lake, Edmonton, Vegreville, Vermilion, and here in Lloydminster, 28 in St. Paul, and 27 in Lac La Biche. On the Saskatchewan side, same with Alberta, very warm, very nice, 32 in Macklin, 31 in North Battleford, 29 in Maidstone, St. Walburg, Pearceland, 28 in Isle Cross, 30 in Green Lake and Meadow Lake. Now taking a look at your 7-day forecast for here in Lloydminster. Tomorrow, sunny skies at 29, 21 21 with a 40% chance of some showers on Saturday. 22 with a mix of sun and cloud on Sunday. 24 on Monday to start your week with a mix of sun and clouds. 60% chance that we could see some thunder showers on Tuesday with a high of 21, and 20s both on Wednesday and Thursday. With Thursday, there's a 42% chance that we could see some showers, but a mix of sun and clouds, and it's looking like it's going to be mostly sunny throughout the day. Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud as well. We're right around our averages, or just a little bit below on some of those days, as well as our lows. We're in and around a little bit higher, a little bit lower than that. But that is a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Now we go to our Josh Ryan, who is on location.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Gabby Block, an 18U player who is going with her partner Janae Burnoff to play at the provincial tournament in Regina. That's later this weekend. Hopefully you guys have good weather, better than what we're having today. What's your focus heading into the weekend? Because you now had 3 full months of preparation for it.
Yeah, just making sure we get those serves over and some good passes. Yeah.
So just talk a little bit about how important serving is, because obviously there's much more that goes into it than there is in an indoor game.
Well, sometimes the wind can play a factor, so like it all depends on the weather. So if it's a nice sunny day with no wind, it's easier to serve, just like indoor, but if it's windy, it's definitely difficult because you gotta serve a little bit harder if it's against you. So, yeah.
And does that make a difference in how you choose sides at the beginning, or how you adjust who you're serving to?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
And now you've gotten to play for 2 years now with the program. Has it helped you be a better indoor player, and if so, how, I guess?
Well, it's definitely helped me with my passing and sometimes my serves. Like, I learned my jump serve here last year, so I definitely related that to my indoor, and yeah, so that helped me with my serves.
And is there anything you think you can help translate into this coming indoor season, which is only a month away?
Yeah. Definitely some more passing. Like, you learn a lot better how to pass, like a lot better, and just, I don't know, ball control is a lot easier transitioning, yeah.
And what are you hoping to get accomplished this fall? Because obviously it's going to be a fun high school season in Lloydminster again.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know, just whatever comes, like anything, I don't know.
Well, thank you again for joining us, and good luck, obviously, this weekend in Regina. We'll have one more stop here at Bud Miller Park, but first, what's going on with Question of the Day?
So since it is August 1st, that means there's only 1 month left of summer before kids are back at school and fall rolls in. So we asked you on Facebook, what is your favorite memory of summer so far? And we got a few responses. A lot of people saying that the one sunny day, the days that weren't rainy. So we got a lot of that. And it's true, there were a lot of rainy days. But we had a couple other ones, pool days with their kids or grandkids, getting a puppy or a new computer. So, you know, it seems like everyone's having a well-rounded summer.
Yeah, I would have liked to spend more time outside this summer. I think it's kind of been less than I've wanted to, but I'm going to try and improve that. But the good weather has to be there so I can actually try to improve it.
Yeah, and we're hoping that August is the most sunny out of it, because that's just, it's sad. It's going to be a sad summer if August isn't sunny.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to good weather, so I'm really hoping that's the case.
Well, something that we do all love to look at and talk about is your pets. So we're going to head into Pet of the Day. The first submission is Bella.
Very fluffy.
Very, very adorable. Next we have JC.
Aww.
Very cute. Has
tongue sticking out.
Yeah, very cute. Now we have Opal.
I love her toys. Like, I just want to, like, that colorful one just looks so cute.
Definitely looks like she's spoiled. Now we have Ace.
Aw.
Very cute.
Enjoying that sun.
Yep, definitely. And last we have Critter and Bobblehead.
Just chilling in that nice little box there.
Yeah, they found a way to fit. But if you would like to see your pet on Pet of the Day, all you have to do is submit the pet picture and their name to our Facebook page for a chance to win a free Pet Pad gift card.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Welcome. I'm joined by head coach and general manager Nigel Dubé of the Lloydminster Bobcats at their brand new training facility on the northwest side of Lloydminster. Definitely more space to work with than what you previously had.
Yeah, it's more space. I think it's also more welcoming, which is a big part, not only for our fans, season ticket sponsors, but for our players and for athletes as well, to be able to come here.
Now you have obviously more workspace in terms of desk and office space for staff to work, your own office as well as in addition in the building. You have a training space to deal with injuries and medical sort of maintenance of the players. You have a lounge area, behind us you can see there a video analysis area for people to go over game tape and planning for other games. What kind of opportunities do you have now in terms of day-to-day things and also game management things that you didn't have before?
Well, it's a big part for our guys to be able to come here and work out and then hang out too as well. We talk about being a family and being together all the time, and we were missing that element at our rink just with the way the space is. And we have great space there, just a matter of this is more efficient for us of what we're looking to do as well as recruiting too. So we can come here and guys can be in the gym and the other group can be watching video while two players are getting worked on with our athletic therapist. So it's one of those where it's pretty much everything one-stop shop for us outside of when we need to go to the rink to practice.
And it probably doesn't hurt that in addition to more space, it's also kind of a newer building. So air conditioning is a little crisper. The light distribution in the buildings may be more even than other places. That probably makes a difference as well during the day.
Well, it's definitely, anytime that you can get some daylight going in and the general mood goes up and everything's fresher too for us. Everything got done in here right before we moved in. And, even when I first got here to walk into our old office, it was a matter of just going in and you weren't quite sure. Where does this store go to? Where does that one go to? And it's a real open feel here, open concept in the front for what we need to do. And the same thing, if a fan wanted to come in and chat one day and have a cup of coffee, we have that ability now in this facility.
And now behind me, as we said before, is sort of your game editing and game review stuff is all done from a computer and a program there. So talk really briefly about that program and what the process would be like with the guys seated behind me at this screen.
Well, for us, we cut all of our game tape during the game. So everything that happens between forecheck and goals and penalty kill and power play, that all gets done right in between, right during the game. And we have an opportunity to show that in between periods. But here we have an opportunity to break it down more to our guys, whether that be just defense or just forwards, or we can have a special team meeting here, and then we can have a whole group as well. So we have that nice way to, it's a classroom for us. The other part too is for the SAT. We'll do all of our prep here, be like a study hall to have that here, and just our general day-to-day as an organization. Our board meetings now can be held here, so we're not on the clock. And if we need to take hours, we can take hours. So it's just a nice area for us to be able to teach and for our players to learn and to adapt and be able to ready for the next level.
I'm sure many parents were comforted by the word studying used there. Now, really quickly to wrap things up, you do have a hockey school coming up, so just briefly talk about the dates and what's going to go happen for the next month.
Yeah, the first week is August 12th to 15th, and then the second week is 19th to the 22nd. And this year it's hockey school and sport camp. So when they're on the ice, they'll be learning off the ice. We'll be working on different things like hand-eye coordination, and then we also have a new part to it this year where we're doing classroom with different health groups in town to really inform kids, no matter the age, of the importance of day-to-day health.
And we'll have more back from the Bobcats' new training facility, as well as a look at what their gym looks like.
The long weekend is almost upon us, and Monday, the place to be is right here at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre as they celebrate Heritage Days. And you can start your day off right here with a pancake breakfast. They're going to start serving up at 8:30, and then the other activities get underway at 10 o'clock, and it includes an opportunity for you to take a tour of Rendell House. It took them a while to restore this house, but they've done an absolutely beautiful job, and there's going to be folks on hand in the house on Monday to tell you a little bit about the history of it. So that's just one of the many activities that make up Heritage Day. There's going to be a petting zoo. Make sure you bring the kids because there's going to be old-fashioned games like a chance to do some laundry, churn some butter, walk on stilts, and so much more. There's going to be classic cars. There's going to be antique tractors on display. There's going to be live entertainment. The hot doggers are going to be here. A chance to make some crafts with the kids. A chance to try out bread from their oven with maybe even some homemade jam to go on it. It's going to be a wonderful day here on Monday at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre for Heritage Day. Admission is free. Pieces of Lloydminster's history are going to be on display on Monday during Heritage Days here at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre, and a bit of a competition that's kind of a throwback. Arm wrestling. The first ever arm wrestling competition is taking place this weekend at the Battle River Ranch Camp. It's a fundraiser and it's going to be a really fun day. They've got a lot of folks who are going to head out there and show off their strength, and you've got an opportunity to check it out on Saturday. Plus there's going to be some live entertainment as well. Kenny Mack will be there too. Back in the day, maybe it was heading to the old swimming hole, and that was going to be date night. Well, coming up next week, a late night date night at the outdoor pool here in the city of Lloydminster. It's a chance for you to swim under the stars, win some great prizes, and watch a movie outdoors as well. If you want to get your tickets, you can get them now by stopping by the BioClean Aquatic Centre. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klegus, and that's what's happening.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Welcome back to Primetime Local News. We're now inside the Lloydminster Bobcats Performance Center, fueled by King's Energy Group, and obviously you're very excited about this space moving forward for not only the extra space that the guys now have and the connection to the rest of the facility, but the equipment in there and what it allows you to do moving forward.
Well, it's a big part for us to bring our off-ice training right into our own center, and for our guys that when we do our group workouts, not only that, but to have time that they can come in through the day on their own and do the extra work. We preach that if they want to be an elite athlete, they have to do the work to get there, and we believe we're giving them resources to get to that level by having this stage here.
Now you have a number of squat racks. They can also sub for pull-ups, chin-ups, and other types of exercises like that. You have assault bikes in here, which you don't find everywhere, certainly in most of the gyms in Camrose. How important was it to get a piece of equipment like that into this facility?
Well, it was huge for us to have all the equipment that we did get, and it's top of the line stuff, and our partnership with King's Energy Group was a big part of that, and we wouldn't be able to do this without them. But to have the squat racks where they can do so much on, and then the fitness side of it and the conditioning side of it is huge. And anybody that's been on an assault bike and to try and do one of those workouts, and when we can mix those in on the right days, and they also work for a stationary bike. So if we need to flush the legs out after a tough weekend, we have that. But we've equipped it with all the equipment that's necessary for the top end training, as well as it's nice to have a door connecting to the outside. So into the fall and in the spring that we can be going out there to do extra stuff. And for our guys coming in the summer, they have that room too.
I can say from having been on an assault bike, the challenge is the best kind of challenge, certainly, when it comes to working out. Now, what kind of exercises or what kind of typical workouts will they be doing in August compared to what they'll be doing in season? Because obviously the amount of intensity and total weight they'll do during a day probably decreases because of practicing at the same time.
Well, and that's the big part. So our guys will come in here and with conditioning camp going on and to get into that top shape and they spend all summer working out and putting on that muscle mass, and then throughout the year we turn to mobility stuff and keeping them healthy. I think that's the biggest thing. We're playing 58 games in a short period of time, and there's weeks that we're playing 3 or 4. So the injury prevention and the mobility and just staying on top of the little things will be a big part of it. And again, it's nice because on the other side of the wall we have Haley that she's our athletic therapist that can look after any of those bumps and bruises, and at the same time she's got her own rehab gym right behind us too.
Exactly. So you can really have guys that are, you know, they're scratched for a couple of weeks because of various injuries. They now have the opportunity to do their rehab in terms of on the bench outside that we saw earlier, can now come in and do minor exercises to test movement, to test weight bearing, things like that.
Well, and just having that, again, and we go back to the word resource of having Haley on that side and the gym here is, you know, if there's an opportunity for 3 treatments a day that can get a person back or a player back quicker than it would otherwise, we have that right here, and it's a huge part. It's a huge part when you have limited numbers and keeping to those numbers and keeping them healthy and fresh to perform.
And so in addition to the hockey camp, which we talked about previously, what's the next date that you've particularly circled on the calendar, and certainly what date will all of the guys officially be in town when camp kind of really kicks off?
All of our guys will be here on August 18th, so it's a big part for us. They'll all be here on the 18th, and we'll get the ball rolling on the 19th and get into it, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, things didn't warm up here at Bud Miller Park, but we did get a brief bit of sunshine, and everyone still enjoyed the wet conditions out on the courts. Remember, they have their 18U Provincial Championship coming up with a girls pairing in there. They also have one team in the 15U Championship the following weekend. So a big weekend this weekend particularly with the 18U Championship, plus their final on-court sessions in Bud Miller Park on Sunday and Monday for other kids. And then, of course, you have their 15U team taking part in Regina the weekend after. And so this has been a fun night. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We'll go right back to you guys in studio. But first, I've been itching to get out onto the court, to be honest. So I'm going to put my mic down and participate for the next couple of minutes. So back to you guys in a sec.
I mean, that was a pretty impressive spike, not gonna lie there. Taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast one last time. 21 is the high for Saturday with a 40% chance of some rain. And then we get a little break from that with a high of 22 on Sunday and a high of 24 on Monday. Tuesday, we have a 60% chance of some showers, possible lightning and thunder. So keep an eye out for that with a high of 21, and 20s is the high for both Wednesday and Thursday. Now, I knew that Josh was a volleyball player and he loves volleyball, but you know, I haven't really ever seen him play, and that was a pretty impressive spike.
That was like awesome. That totally made it all worth it. Like, yeah. I just love that.
You know, a part of me kind of wanted it to hit the net and like bounce back, but honestly, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes it great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and we will be back for Friday before the long weekend on Primetime Local News.